Top 10 Essay Topics About Civil Rights Movement. The African American Civil Rights Movement. In this essay, you should review the African American Civil Rights Movement. Discuss its origins, key leaders, organizations, and crucial milestones. Delve into the used strategies, for instance, peaceful protests and legal challenges. You can also accentuate the value of this movement in reaching racial equality and social justice in the USA. Civil Rights Movement Major Events in 1954 to 1968. This essay can highlight the notable events of the Civil Rights Movement between 1954 and 1968. We suggest writing about landmark court cases like Brown v. Board of Education, pivotal acts of protest such as the Montgomery bus boycott, and paramount marches and demonstrations like the March on Washington. Analyze how these events enabled the progress of the movement. Silent Voices of the Modern Civil Rights Movement. Here, you can shed light on marginalized groups' overlooked inputs and experiences within the modern civil rights movement. You may mention LGBTQ+ individuals, Native Americans, and Hispanic Americans. Try to clarify their efforts, activism, and significant contribution to the broader civil rights struggle. Impact of Civil Rights Movement. This essay should discuss the deep impact of the civil rights movement on American citizens and beyond. Emphasize the legislative changes, public transformations, and cultural shifts that arose from the movement. Also, you can elucidate its ongoing relevance and challenges in achieving equality today. The contributions of Richard Wright and Gwendolyn Brooks to the civil rights movement. Another winning idea is to inspect the input of Richard Wright and Gwendolyn Brooks, influential African American writers, to the civil rights movement. Discuss their literary works and activism. Explicate how their artistry and standpoints helped raise awareness, bring about change, and challenge racial injustice. African American women and the civil rights movement. Here, you might spotlight the meaning of African American women in the civil rights movement. Concern the activism and leadership of women such as Rosa Parks, Fannie Lou Hamer, and Ella Baker. Shed light on the unique hardships they met due to both gender and racial bias. Presidents Eisenhower and Johnson, the civil rights movement. In this essay, you can study the roles of Presidents Dwight D. Eisenhower and Lyndon B. Johnson concerning the civil rights movement. Clarify their politics, legislative actions, and responses to critical occurrences. You may mention Eisenhower's interference in the Little Rock crisis and Johnson's advocacy for the Civil Rights Act. Civil rights movement and the Vietnam War. We advise you to clarify here the interconnections between the civil rights movement and the Vietnam War. You can explain how the movement was influenced by opposition to the war and racial disparities in military service. Also, you may dwell on the impact of the campaign on anti-war sentiment and the broader counterculture movement. Music and the civil rights movement. This essay should explore the influence of music on the civil rights movement. We recommend discussing how songs like We Shall Overcome and artists like Nina Simone and Sam Cooke used their talent to communicate the movement's hopes, disappointments, and resilience. Law history from Jim Crow to civil rights movement. In this essay, you can trace the chronology of legislation from Jim Crow isolation to the civil rights movement. Describe landmark Supreme Court verdicts, like Plessy v. Ferguson, or pertinent laws, like the Voting Rights Act of 1965. Elucidate how these occurrences affected the fight against racism.